This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time! Presenting the champion of the world, WamBam!
Yo, this is your boy WamBam, and I'm here after hours, and I ran into a man who's not just a man, he's a warrior. He's an Army veteran. He's a MMA fighter, and he's just downright a great guy. So I just wanted to bring him on the show. I wanted to talk to him a little bit, rap about some of his life, because there's just so many cool things about this guy. His name is Myles, DillaTheKilla, right?
DillaTheKilla, yeah.
DillaHunter. What's up, Myles? How are you, man?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just wanted to, say, first of all, thanks for coming by, man. I know, meeting you and talking to you a little bit about some of your background is just fascinating. And I know there's so many people out there that, want to get into MMA or love MMA and stuff. And it's something that you have a huge passion for, seeing it. And so I just want to talk a little bit. How did you get into MMA? What really got you involved? Were you a trouble kid when you were young, growing up?
Yeah. Put it mildly, yeah. I fought a lot as a kid. I was bullied a lot when I was younger. I was one of those kids like you would see 4 or 5 years old with tears in his eyes all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Just a little bitch ass crybaby.
Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah, but it was like, that was just.
Why were people beating up on you, man?
I was just sensitive. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I think I was like, I took everything like really to heart. You know what I mean? So, like, I used to get make fun of a lot. I used to stutter. Man,
that's so weird. I stuttered too in school, man, back in the day.
I used to stutter.
Yeah,
I used to be stuck. There's like, you know what?
Well, you can cure it. You obviously did.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just went away, I guess, with time and stuff. But at the time, it was really bad because I just remember as a kid just being so nervous all the time. I still get kind of nervous, but I remember as a kid I was nervous.
Now, where did you grow up? Oakland, right? You were in Oakland, California?
Yeah. So that's where I was born, but I grew up majority of my younger life in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Norcross, Georgia, pretty much North Atlanta. And then I would go back every summer with my father or my grandparents to Bay Area, California.
Now, we talked about that earlier, before that. You didn't have the average, home bringing. A lot of these people today, they're spoiled when they got a mom and dad there. Let's just be real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many kids out there today that don't have a mom and dad to wake up to every morning. It's not a horrible thing, but it's different. Yeah. And it's a different way of being uprooted, especially when you don't have choices as a child because you're told where you have to go.
Yeah.
Like you said, you went to Oakland with grandpa and your dad at times and back and forth. What was that like, man, growing up? Yeah, obviously you remember.
So yeah, it was weird because like I didn't see my dad until I was like 7.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he looked like, what he sounded like.
Were you ever curious? Like, was
it
a conversation you ever had with your mom?
I thought my older brother's dad was my dad. Like all my brothers have different dads. So I thought like.
How many brothers do you have?
I have 3 brothers on my mother's side and I have 2 brothers on my father's side.
Gotcha. And sisters too?
2 sisters on my father's side.
It's a big family. That's a big family.
If you want to call it that. It's big families.
Well, now, so you said you had 3 brothers and they all had 3 different fathers. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess that would be a little bit confusing if you're 7 years old.
Yeah.
So you thought the whole time that he was your dad?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wouldn't see him because my older brother didn't live with us. He lived with his father. So the times he would come back and he'd go talk to his dad, I remember running. He's like, oh, I got to talk to my dad. I was like, oh, I got to talk to my dad too. Like thinking like, oh, okay, this has been my dad the whole time. He's like, no, this is not your dad. This is my dad. And my mom's like, nah, that's not your dad. And I was just like, oh.
Well,
can I call my dad? And she's like, we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did that turn? Like, where was Dad? You said you finally saw him at 7?
Yeah, at 7.
So where was he? What did he do? What happened?
I met him. My mom took me to him. He was in California the whole time because my mom left with me and my younger brother. She moved us when I was 4, he was 2, and she drove from like Stockton, California, all the way down to Atlanta. Moved us there. She just wanted to be somewhere different. Didn't talk to my dad or anything about it. Just go.
Just go.
Just go.
So what'd your mom say at that point in time when you said, hey, this is my brother's dad, but it's not my dad. So where is my dad? And did she have an answer for you?
She just said, like, I don't know. Like at the time when I was younger. But as I aged, she's like, oh, your dad's not there. He's not shit, da-da-da, all that stuff. It's typical single mother stuff, you know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Well,
Like,
wait a second. Define that. What do you mean typical single mothers?
typical
Because-
single mother stuff, just like to my experience.
Okay.
Just like to where they had
Yeah,
like,
because
you got an the way I'm saying it, it's because like I grew up with a lot of friends like in my neighborhood, like where I grew up in Georgia. All of us didn't have dads that lived with us. You know, some seen their dads, you know, but some never seen their dads. That was norm growing up over here, you know. So I never thought that was like super weird to have like, you know, just a mom and not a dad, because that's what I grew up with.
gotcha.
You know, so it was just like, and then I hear like from their moms, it's like, oh, my dad's not shit either. Yeah, my dad, he didn't pick me up either. That's like the movies that we would watch. Like it's the same, it's the stuff. Like, so I thought that was regular. It's
Wow.
never. I always wondered about my dad and like what he looked like when I was younger and stuff like that. But it was just like, it didn't really like. I didn't really think I needed a dad, because despite like my mom's feelings and like how she was still like a strong, like independent woman. She took care of us.
Well, she had to be having
Yeah.
that many kids
But
too.
that's the thing, you know, your mom could like go live in Section 8 housing, all that stuff like that, rely on the government, rely on child support. My mom didn't do none of that. Mom wasn't getting child support from any of her baby's fathers.
Well,
Like my older one, he lived with his dad, so that was like a given, like no. But my younger brother, no. And like we had another brother like later along the lines, but mostly it was just me and my younger brother Kendall that like lived with her until my youngest brother Nigel was born. But yeah, because she was with his dad for a long time too. But she didn't depend on him to support us. You know, we lived in like Lawrenceville, Swanee area, like close to like Damala, Georgia, like where we were growing up at. We were still living like what you would say like a middle class lifestyle. Yeah, times were hard, but my mom had a good ass job. You know, it was just like times where we wouldn't see her until like later, like 7, because she'll be working. She worked in the city. She'd drive all the way back to like Buford. That's like an hour and a half.
so
Maybe. You know?
So you're sitting there, you know, you're a young child, you're a kid, you're questioning. I mean, do you feel like that's something that's kind of scarred you a little bit, or are you past that now? Like, tell us how you the first time you laid your eyes on your dad and you knew this is dad. What was that like, man? I see the smile. And
First time I seen my dad was like on my birthday.
Yeah.
For my 7th birthday. I got a Game Boy Color with 2 games. It's like Frogger and
Good old Frogger.
Pokemon Silver version. That's what I got.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember it. And I was just like, you remember him like, oh my God, this is cool. Like your dad just buys you stuff, you know, on your birthday. This is cool. It gets you all the presents. It takes you, you know, out to eat. I'm like, this is cool. I can rock with this. And then, you know, have a sit down. He talks to me a little bit. You know, I don't really remember the conversation that much, but it was pretty much like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Both get emotional, both cry, all that. And then he leaves. And then I don't see him again until I'm like 13.
Really?
Yeah.
That was it. One time.
Yeah, that one time. And then I seen him again when I was 13. And that time it was just like, you know, I'm a teenager. I'm just like, I'm really.
Are you down on dads now? Are you down? Like, are you angry at him at all? Like, what are you feeling at this point?
Oh, at 13?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, it was
you
just
saw him
like-
at 7.
Yeah,
You're
I saw him
excited.
some-
Dad
saw him
brought
at
me some
13.
presents.
I mean, I pretty much just kind of wrote it off. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, well, just like my dad isn't shit. And my mom would say that too. Dad's not shit. You know what I mean? And then like, mind you, my dad he was married with 2 other kids, you know, that lived with him, 2 younger kids, my younger siblings. And he had 2 other kids with 2 different other people. He was also going through his stuff too. There's none of the stuff I wouldn't know. I wouldn't notice. I'm just a 13-year-old thinking like my dad doesn't care about me at all. And then I think I pitched a fit about something because I just wanted stuff. And like for whatever reason, like I was getting jealous of my younger brother. He was getting stuff from his dad. I'm like, why don't I get stuff from my dad? And I got emotional, started crying. My mom's like, you know what? I'm going to call him up, hit him up. Because we were in California at the time. We would always go there in the summertime. So met my dad. You know, we talked it up. And it was just like, it was almost like.
This is when you're 13.
Yeah, this is when I'm 13. Yeah.
So you hadn't talked to him prior to you 7. Did you have his phone
I
number or
talked to
anything?
him-
Were you able to talk to him on the phone? Nothing?
Nah, I mean, I talked to him on the phone a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, but it was like a couple. I mean, like 2, 3.
I
like
got you.
From that year span or something like that. And it was just like, we chatted it up, pretty much like the same spill. It's like, yo, I'm sorry, da-da-da, this is happening. But like, it was crazy because like, you know, when you're 13, like so much stuff is happening to
Oh
your
yeah,
body at the time.
yeah.
And stuff
Now
like
you're
that.
going through a
And I
little
don't have,
puberty.
you know, and
you're
I
a
have,
teenager.
and I'm not answering these questions because like I can't ask my mom any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because my mom's just like, it's like, she doesn't know. You can't tell me what the fuck's going on with me. She can't tell me why I fucking stink. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What is hair on my nuts and shit like that? You know what I mean? Gotta be like vulgar or anything and stuff like
You
that.
be you, man.
Okay,
You just
cool.
be you.
Like, it's just
You
like,
be you. Listen, at the end of the day,
like, yo,
this-
you can't tell me about none
you're
of this.
being real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
She doesn't
saying?
tell me none of the stuff that's going on. You can't tell me like, well, I want to watch porn and stuff like that. Because like my mom's even watch porn. She's, oh, you're fucking gross. Like you're gross. Like why are you doing this stuff like
Right.
that? I didn't know that none of this stuff is like natural for like, you know, boys to be going through, to be attracted. I was confused. But the thing about when I met my dad, he got straight into that. Like straight in that conversation. What the fuck I was going, like what the fuck's going on with your body? He's like, hey, something's going on. It's why you're smelling yourself. It's getting hard for this, that. And I'm just like, he was saying it so casually.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I was almost getting kind of uncomfortable because I didn't really know him like that, and I didn't really engage with a, you know, I never had a masculine figure or anything like that to engage with and talk about that stuff. I didn't have that at all,
Right.
you know. So it was just like it was weird, you know. But then like we hung out a lot that summer, and eventually I go and live with him for a little bit, and that's when, you know, the problem started because I was getting too mannish at my mom's house, you know, getting 13, 14, you know. You're not gonna catch me with a belt. You're not fast enough. You can't hurt me no more for real. You know, she's like, you know what? Go live with your dad. And I'm like, cool. I'll go live with my dad.
So now you're what? You're 14?
13, 14
13,
time
14.
frame.
So let me I'm trying to structure this for myself and the viewers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're a child, 7 years goes by, you don't know who your dad is. You think your dad is your brother's dad, somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't really have a father figure or somebody to look up to. Finally, dad appears, and you know it's like, hey, a couple of presents, you're excited, gifts. Then you lose control. You lose contact with him again.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're 13, shows up again. You see him again, and now all of a sudden your mom and you are having some problems, and it's like, hey, you want to go be with your dad? Go live with your dad. You think she was jealous or upset at the fact that maybe you were trying to seek out your dad?
No, I don't think that in at least at all.
No.
I just felt like she was like, the thing about my mom, like, despite like how she was sometimes, she was just like, she was dead set on like, you know what, if you want to be with your dad, like, I'm gonna try to give you what you want. She's still like a mom in that sense. She's like, I'm trying to give my sons what he wants. If I can't give it to him, if he wants to see his dad, you know, go be with your dad. You know what I mean?
And obviously you had this mystique, you said yourself, when your brothers had their dad, and you're like, I want to call my dad.
Yeah, because it was a lot of stuff I learned. Like, I didn't know, like, I was just like, dad's like Native American too.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Gotcha.
I just thought I was regular black. You know, I was like, I had no idea we had like that side at all. I had not slightest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just knowing about that side of my family and stuff like that. And
Do you remember the day when you packed up your suitcase, whatever you had to go and move in your dad's? Do you remember what was that like? What was that feeling like? Or did you have that inside of you anywhere?
Yeah, I was anxious because it was just like,
Were you excited, anxious?
I was
or nervous
excited because it's like, yeah, I'm going to California, because this is where I always wanted to be. I hated Georgia. I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be here, you know. And then it was just like, I don't know this cat for real. You know, I don't know how it's gonna be. We never really got in a fight. We was cool. You know, we're still filling each other out. You know what I mean? And you know, I was still trying to, you know, not really trying to be a good boy. I'm just thinking like, this is gonna be chill. Like, I'm gonna be over my dad's. We just gonna be chilling the whole time and be going to school. It's gonna be great. You know what I mean? And then like get over there, was chill for like a second. Then I started doing what I do. I started acting up, act up in school and all that stuff. And my dad wasn't having like any of that. You know, I was able to, when I was living with my mom, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? That guy hit me first. That's why I hit him. You know, right? She's like, what, he hit you first? I'm like, yeah. And he called me a nigga too. So yeah, that's how it happened, Mom. No one ever hit me first. I always hit first.
You made it up all the way around.
All the time. No one has ever hit me first ever in any fight ever.
All right. So you're a big troublemaker.
No, I was, yeah, in that sense. Because it was just like, to me, I didn't like losing the fight. So it's harder to lose when you hit first.
Yeah.
But it was like, my mom, she was all like, oh, these kids, schools is racist, da-da-da, all this shit. You know, it's Georgia, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, that's how it is.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
You played the ticket. Yeah.
My dad wasn't having none of that shit. The teacher said you were stupid. It's because you were stupid. You know what I mean? That's how it was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I tried to throw that game around in. I think I did some silly shit. I like had my pencil on the ground and the teacher was walking by. I'm like, hey, could you get that for me? And I was like, and he's like, anything else? You know, teachers being the teachers. And I'm all like, yeah, you give me Starbucks coffee too. And I'm like, thought it was so funny at my time. Dad, not so much, you know. Get home. He's like, did that happen? I'm like, no, it didn't happen. He's like, okay, it didn't happen. All right. Then, boom, slaps me across my face. I'm just like, did he really just hit me? He hit me. I'm about to fuck this old man up. It didn't go down that way. No, it definitely didn't. Because I wasn't used to a man like hitting me. I was like, anyone hit me, I was like, we're fighting.
Discipline, man. Back in the day, that's what it was, though.
Yeah.
You know, shoot, I got the belt a few times, you know, with my dad and stuff. Well, I mean, I only got it a couple times because that's all I needed it. And then I remembered, oh shoot, I don't want that, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I got whooped all the time by my mom, but it was, you know,
it's different.
Yeah,
coming
it was
from
different
a
coming from a man.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was thinking, like, you know, I didn't really know. I'm like, oh, so we're fighting. He comes in, my dad fucks me up, beats the brakes off me, and I'm just like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. You know what I mean?
You know, it's so funny. I want to reflect on that real quick because, you know, you make comment, he beat the brakes off you. And the reality is, I bet if I had him here and asked him, he'd probably think, oh man, I just backslapped him or whatever. It was light, right?
Yeah.
But as a child, you're demoralized. Like, holy cow, I can't believe this is my dad whooping my ass, right? You know, he's supposed to defend me and supposed to look up to, you know, this is supposed to be your hero. And at this point in time, you're not feeling so like, this is my hero.
Nah, I didn't feel like that at all. Like, I didn't even feel like, yo, oh, this is my. I just thought we were just like cool, we getting to know each other. Like, why are you hitting me? Why are you not believing my lies? you know what I mean? It's like they've been working so much, and then like you do this. And so we was like, there was a period where we was just like, I was just trying to be sneaky. Like, he would set rules and stuff like that. He's like, I want this clean. I want this clean this way. I want you washing your clothes, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. I would try to be sneaky. I'll half-ass do it. He'll make me do it again. I'll throw a fit. We'll fight again. It was like a cool 2 months of us just doing that before I realized it's just like, yeah, I don't think I can beat this guy.
So it's really, so wait, so what it sounds like to me, it wasn't Dad, it was you. You didn't like the fact that there was rules, there was boundaries, there was laws. You know, Dad was trying to create a little structure and say, hey, you can't do this, you got to do that, have a little chores. And you decided, no, I want to do it my way. That's what it sounds like.
No, that's exactly what it was. No, I'm not. I'm not disagreeing about that at all.
I know it's ironic because as you fast forward, because I already know you went into the Army, and that's exactly what they do to you.
Yeah.
They tell you where to go, when to get up, what to eat. Like, you are under the rules. Is that weird?
Yeah, and it's crazy because my dad he was in the Army too.
Okay.
He was the exact same way. He was like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do in here. That was like pimping on the side. He was trying to be a pimp in the Army at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And they found out. You know what I mean? And the whole time they're trying to kick him out. And you know, to the grace he somehow got out, honorable, all that stuff. But my dad was like, he's really finesse. He's really slick talker, really business savvy mind. He's like intellectual. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, I would like to say but I'm more like a brute. That's more like I kind of go over there. And then, but what he was doing, he was, you know, putting structure down. You know, I just didn't see that at the time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, looking back now, I mean, obviously you're a little bit older now and stuff, and you go through that. Can you see, like, even Mom, you know, maybe, like you made a comment, you know, she worked really hard, but she allowed you to leave, but it was more because she wanted you to have what you didn't have because you requested that. And of course, Dad is, you know, trying to, you know, give you structure, and you know, she probably's like, this boy needs some discipline, you know, type of thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because there's a whole lot of stuff like, especially as a boy, you can get away with your mom, but it's not gonna fly with your dad. You know, my sons get away with all the stuff they want to at their mom's house. Not over here.
See, so
you
now
know,
you have children too now.
Yeah,
so now you have
it's
children,
just like,
as well.
I talk to my dad all the time, and I always go back to that. I was like, oh, I really appreciate you for doing that, installing it, because at the time it was so weird.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome that you had that conversation.
Yeah, because everything he said was pretty much right. Like all the fighting that we went through, he's like, if you keep it up like this, you're gonna do the same thing that you do to your son.
Right.
You know.
You know, the funny thing about it is kids don't realize that because they're kids. You know, I hated my father growing up too because he always said no. Every time I asked him, it was no, no, no. My mom would always give me what I wanted. You know what I mean? So, of course, it was easy to go to Mom. The truth of the matter is, you know, later as I got in life, got a little bit older, I realized, especially when I had kids of my own, he was actually protecting me. The no's were because he knew there was nothing bad that could have, nothing good that could have happened from that, right? So that's why he was saying that and so forth. And mom, of course, she carried us. Your mom's the only one that carried us. At the end of the day, we came out of their stomachs, so they're always going to protect their baby no matter what. So, but it's funny. So here you go. You got a full circle. You're getting older now. You realize that. You said you got kids of your own.
Yeah.
Do you just discipline your kids at all?
Before, you should do a little pop thing. Now I don't hit them at all. Only time I would say like I would actually justify myself hitting my sons is if they put their hands on me, and then they're gonna get disciplined then. But
so where did the change come in? When did you start changing your attitude and everything else? And how did you get to the Army? Like, what made you go into the Army?
So, reason I joined the Army, I just felt like I was just too dumb for college. Like, I started going to college when I was like 18. I went to Art Institute of San Francisco for fashion and marketing.
Wow.
And
fashion, huh?
Yeah,
little fashion, yeah, a little sway there.
Yeah. I knew it. I knew he was.
Yeah.
The dress was too nice.
Yeah.
This boy's funny. No, that's what my interest was at the time. I wanted to be like, make clothes at the time. But a lot of my friends wanted to, like, just to do stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
So I did that, but I was like, I was overwhelmed because I'm thinking like, I'm just going to be making clothes. I started to do regular college classes and stuff. I barely made it through high school. Only reason I made it through high school is because I played basketball. I had to do work. So it was like, cool. But yeah, and then everything about the Army seemed more appealing. It's like, we'll pay for the school because my mom was paying for it, and my grandparents were like helping her pay for it. My grandma, she was giving me like $200 a month, like in San Francisco. Like that's gonna do anything. Like I was like doing that. Plus I had a part-time job at Old Navy, making like, I don't know, at the end of the month maybe $600. So $800 living in the Bay Area. That's crazy. Like, what are you gonna buy with anything? You're not gonna live like that. So I was like, mind you, I'm becoming a man. I'm like 21. I'm like, man, I gotta make something shake. I just want my own shit. I'm living back with my grandparents, and so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the Army, do all that stuff. Of course, Army really good at like, yeah, man, you're gonna get all the money. Yeah, man, yeah. You can get your own place. What you got a kid on the way, girl? If you get married, you gotta have your own place, man. I was like, yeah, free healthcare. I'm like, yeah, you get to travel. Yeah.
So you're drinking the Kool-Aid at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I kept a cup with me. I was just like, yeah. I was all into it. And then I get in, and then you realize, like, I want to say 2 weeks. And I was just like, yeah, this is some bullshit. But in my head, though, I'm not saying this out loud.
Right.
It's like in basic, I'm like, yeah, I think I messed up because you're going through all the basics, the basic training and all that stuff. That's where they break you down, build you back up as a soldier and stuff like that. A lot of people don't tell you, like a whole lot of soldiers, they get lost right then and there. That first 2-3 weeks, they're all like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. They'll be crying, they'll be begging, please go home. I want to see my mom, all that.
How about you?
No. My biggest thing was just like, even if I don't like it, I'm not a bitch. That's the thing. That's how I go through my life. Even still to this day, I'm not going to be a bitch. Like, no one's going to see me bitch out, do all this bullshit. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I'm not going to bitch out. And that's pretty much what got me through. There's some days I was like, yo, fuck this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I want to crawl in mud. I want to wake up at 4:30, get yelled at, do push-ups.
Now, where were you stationed?
Stationed in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Missouri? Okay, that's where you started?
Yeah.
And then where'd you go from there? Didn't you go overseas somewhere?
Yeah, I went to Myles, Germany. That's where I was stationed. But it was really like...
How long did you live in Germany?
Like 3.5 years.
3.5 years, wow.
Yeah.
You speak the language?
No, ein bisschen. Only a little.
Yeah. Just enough to say the good and the bad things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Did you like Germany? What was it like over there?
No, I love Germany.
Yeah?
No.
A lot of beer?
I didn't drink beer at the time.
No?
I drank other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like...
What's that like, being in military and stuff, going out, being able to go out and stuff and drinking and partying? I mean, obviously you're military, so...
So that's the thing, man. I can't
we see these movies. You see the movies. People
I can't. Some of the movies, it was like, okay, it's kind of similar to Germany, but I can't speak for like in the stateside because I never went out in the stateside. While I was in the military for real. and just like it's more regulated on the state side anyway. Like they know you're in the army. Everybody knows you're in the army. You say you're in the army, they know you. They're like, hey, if you get in trouble, you'll be in front of your sergeant desk and like by morning. Germany, not so much. You get outside, you know that base. You're in Germany now. You know what I mean? You don't have. No one has to know. I mean, yeah, they're gonna know that you're American. Yeah, they don't know what you're like a soldier or whatever. If you could really handle it. Like I was a canine handler and a military policeman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you took care of the dogs.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but when you saw me
What
outside,
kind of dogs they have there?
German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherd,
What do you think's the best one?
Belgian Malinois. I was
Yeah.
actually bred for it.
That's what. That's
I mean, I wouldn't
what
keep
I've
the
been
shit in
told.
my house, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good dog.
Yeah.
It's a high drive.
Yeah.
But I had a German Shepherd. That's when I was stationed out there. His name was Edo, R.I.P. He's dead now.
Oh.
But
Dying duty or
hell no.
No.
No, his last handler adopted him. She had 2 other dogs, and they jumped him, killed him. Dogs that he lived with. Because Edo, he was a dog fighter. He fought other dogs.
Okay.
Only reason I didn't take him because he doesn't like kids. Yeah, I love him, but he's like, we try to bite with my kids, and it's, you know, he's get him up out of here.
Right.
You know, but he was a really good dog.
Yeah.
Really good.
Hey, folks, this is WamBam at WamBam's podcast. I want to take a moment to thank our major sponsor, Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. If you're a business owner and you're accepting credit cards or need to accept credit cards, reach out to Cost Plus Processing at 1-855-391-9190. That's 1-855-391-9190. And find out why they are the future in merchant processing. Now back to the show. That's crazy. So you're in Germany, you're in the army, and boom, all of a sudden you get out and you decide, I want to be a fighter.
So it wasn't like boom all of a sudden I got out. I wanted to be a fighter. I started training when I was in Germany, kickboxing, but light stuff, you know, just like I was kickboxing. I took some smoker fights and stuff like that. Nothing like real. I only had one real fight where I got my ass whooped, and that's because the dude was a pro Muay Thai fighter, and I was like, all right, I'm not doing Muay Thai anymore.
If you never got your ass whooped, you were never going to be a fighter anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get your ass whooped to be a solid fighter.
Yeah,
you got to know what it feels like.
Yeah, he made sure I learned that lesson really good, you know. It was so traumatizing. I was like, I don't even think I'm going to do Muay Thai. I think I'm going to just switch it up and do MMA, because I felt like if I would have grabbed him, threw him down, I felt like I would have better success.
Yeah.
So I get stationed back in Fort Leonard Wood. That's like the last place you want to go in the military, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Why?
It's fucking boring.
What? Why? What? For what reason?
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You got
Nothing.
each other?
Imagine nothing. There's
You
more
got each
nothing.
other? You got each other, right?
No, there's nothing there too. Yeah, I guess. I mean, but it's like one of those, like, from coming from Germany, that's like the most exciting place you could go in the military.
Yeah.
It's the most boring place.
Ah.
And mind you, I'm still like, still like a family man. I got the house, got 2 kids now. I'm still married. We're still trying to make it work and stuff like that. So it was a lot of like settling down for me at the same time too, and they had like an MMA gym like right outside base. I would train there right after I got off of work. Everything was on base though. Like Germany is different because there's a little base for everything. There's the base where you get gas, base where you go grocery shopping, base where you go to the store, base where soldiers live, base where families live. Like usually in the States, it's just one big base. Y'all live there, eat there, guys. It's like a little city.
I got you.
Yeah.
So now, what made you get married in that? Was that something that you just fell in love over in Germany with somebody, or?
No. My ex-wife, she was we grew up together. We didn't really grow up together, but we're from the same city.
Gotcha.
And
high school sweethearts?
No,
type thing?
not really.
No.
Yeah, she went to a different high school.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. But it was just like we were together for a long time, and when I decided to join the army, she was like pregnant with my first son. So I'm just like, well, I'm going to the army, all this stuff. And we're still gonna try to make it work. I get in there, and then being around, I'm from California. It's like we have a different type of mindset, more liberal and stuff like that. I was going in with kids that are younger than me, like 2019. They married their high school sweetheart, and now they're in the basic trying to get the army, trying to change their lives and stuff like that. That's how they thought of it.
Right.
I was just trying to travel and get free school. That was the whole thing.
Well, you had a motive too.
Yeah,
they had a motive. You had a motive as
like,
well.
It's so different from different people. Like some people are like military families. Like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And to me, it's just like, oh no, I'm just ride this out and I'm gonna get up out of here.
Right.
You know. But when I was in there, we were writing notes and letters and stuff. I probably get 1-2 calls and start missing them. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to have a son. I want to, maybe I can marry her. We could get a bigger house. We could get a house. If you're married, you get a house. So
the military provides you a home?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
I wonder if that's what people go in there for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, yes.
So you in the military, you get married, they give you a house.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. For real?
No, yeah. No, and if they don't, like, if you could live on base, they find a house for you and you live on that house. And if you're just like, so it's different some places, because like when I was in Germany, all they had was like the homes, like the housing units and stuff like that. But they put you in a bigger housing unit, like an apartment, if you had a bigger family. Like if you had 3 kids, it's cool. But if you wanted a house off post, you get a house off post.
Wow.
Just send you, yeah.
Never
if you
knew
wanted
that.
a house off, no, you get a family.
I never knew they paid for a home.
Yeah, so you like, if you're like a private soldier, like from like really from private all the way to specialist, you kind of have to stay on base. Stay in housing and stuff like that if you're not married. But if you are married, you can live in a home because what, you're going to stay in a barracks with your family?
Right.
No, you need a space for your family, right? So you get a home.
So I bet you you think a lot of people got married for that reason?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And that was one of your reasons you're saying, kind of?
No. No, I didn't really know that. You know what I mean? I wasn't know I was going to get a house. I just noticed, like, I knew I would get more money.
Gotcha.
I know I was going to get a home.
Right.
But I'm thinking, like, I'm going to get, like, $700 extra if you're married. You got the kid, you've been together for so long. He was like, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? And I had a whole lot of convincing from my mother too. She actually bought me the ring. Yeah. So I was just like, and I was kind of like, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know, it's kind of moving too fast. But then, I'm in the Army and everything's pushing. Everything right now from basic to like is like kind of going good. I'm
starting to make sense.
Everybody's starting to like me now. They're just like, yeah, he's changing life. He joined the Army. First they weren't with it. Now they're like, oh yeah, he's doing. So I'm like, all right, cool. And it's crazy because that's like right after we got married, I go back into basic. That's when the first like really what's the word? I guess my trials started happening. So I actually left to go back to California to see my grandmother because I took emergency leave. It's pretty much emergency leave. They'll give you the leave, but you won't necessarily have it.
Yeah.
So she had cancer, and she was dying. It was like she was like I think I stayed there for a week. During that week, we got married on the 9th. And right when we got back from the courthouse, she passed away.
Damn.
And then the very next day after we get married, I have to go back to Missouri. And as soon as I get back to Missouri, because I'm not allowed to have my phone, during that time period. But then I had my phone still, like just in case. And I was like trying to show my guys a game. And I see pictures of my son. He was born literally the next day. So I missed that.
Yeah.
And I didn't see my son until he was like 4 months because I was in training. And when I get back to training, turns out I've been washed back a class. So I'm not even with the guys that's like with me anymore. I'm just kind of it's called a holdover. So pretty much you're just waiting. You're like in class limbo. So you're just waiting for the next class to start. And when's the next class come? 3 more months. So what are you doing? Not shit. You're not doing what the other classes are doing. You're not learning anything. You're just there.
Right. You're
just doing what we call it like bitch work. Just bitch work. Cleaning up, picking something up, moving stuff over there. You're just there. And that's when a lot of people like kind of break. They're just like, oh shit, I don't want to do this. Right. So it's easy to like fuck up and shit like that. Because you're not really progressing. You're just there.
Right.
Like if you get injured during training, you're a holdover now. Because you can't go nowhere else like injured and shit.
So how long were you in the service? You were 4 or 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. Got out,
weeks.
back Georgia, and then decide, boom. What are you doing now for work?
So I was actually like a videographer. So I was working on like sets and stuff. And I was like doing like private work for like influencers and stuff and people who just needed work. I was mostly like in Atlanta. I just kind of picked it up. But the goal was to go to school because you get paid to go to school. You know what I mean? And even though, I was in the Army for like so many years, learned so much shit, learned probably more shit than I'll ever learn in any school. It's about leadership and everything. I get back to college, I still hate this shit. You know, I still don't want to do this shit. I didn't do any work. I was like, damn, this is kind of trash. But I was doing enough work just to get paid every month. You know what I mean? And then you get the loans too. So it's just like, I was living off that pretty much, you know, and just do a little videography every now and again. And any other time I'm training, you know.
And is that when you started fighting?
Yeah.
So, you know, let's talk about your fight journey a little bit, because it sounds like, you know, growing up, you've been fighting your whole life a little bit. And so do you think that's something that was in you always because you got bullied, because you were at school, your mama, you said you had a little falling out, dad had a little falling out, because you didn't understand it at the time, that they were just trying to discipline you and so forth, but you didn't like it. You get in the Army and they're drugging you through some things too that you don't really necessarily like, have to get up at a certain time and, you know, be at a certain place. So, you know, you're constantly grinding. How do you go from that to, I'm going to fight, but fighting isn't what the world is like, meaning you're fighting everyday life. It's so much different than you're training or getting ready to fight a person and compete, right? Because you got to be disciplined. There's got to be sacrifices. There's got to be so much more that goes into that you got to have the character and develop for that.
Yeah. I mean, training for a fight, me getting ready for a fight is completely different, you know, from anything I've ever did ever. Because it's a whole lot of humble pie you have to eat first. You quickly learn that you're not the strongest guy that you thought you was. That actual MMA street fight, like fighting, is not like a street fight. It's longer than 30 seconds. It's longer than 15 minutes sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you get humbled real quick. And I've always been like an athletic guy. I've always been always had like an extra like, to where I always had that extra like gear where I could go. But it just wasn't, my skill wasn't refined or anything like that. I just needed a constant push. I'm one of those people that just need constant like motivation or like a goal to like get to. And so I started fighting. I came down here, found American top team Lima. I watched Douglas Lima, just like one of the Lima brothers, when I was growing up, you know, and I watched him like snap a dude's leg with his own leg. He's really known for his leg kicks. He snapped some guy's legs. I can't remember his name. I think it's Ben something. It's like Ben, I want to say Ben Tan or something like that. Snapped his leg. You know, you see this dude, they call him the Phenom. That's Douglas the Phenom Lima. And I'm like, damn, this dude is clutch. This dude's a killer. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, I didn't know where he was training at. You know, I was living in Missouri at the time, and I lived in Lawrenceville. I didn't know he's from Lawrenceville.
Oh, yeah?
No idea. And at the same time, they had another fighter who's in the UFC right now, Trayshawn Gore. He was on the Ultimate Fighter that season. So I'm like, I'm going there. You know, that's where I have to go.
Yeah.
I know where I'm at. You know, I'm going there.
Right.
You know. So.
Did you ever try out for the Ultimate Fighter? Did you ever submit or do anything with that? No.
I mean, Is
that a show you would do?
No, absolutely not.
No, tell us why. Because, you know, I've talked to several different fighters and you know, about shows like that, and some are, I would do it, and some are like you, said no, they wouldn't. Why
I think it's like hokey. I think it's like silly. I really do. I mean, I think it's like entertainment, but I feel like it's just like, I just never really vibed with it. Even the old school one where it's just like they're out there drinking us, I never really liked it because I just think like, I'm just here to fight. I don't want to live with you guys. Yeah. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, you're not doing
but I think at the end of the day, it's an opportunity, right? If you're getting an opportunity to get a contract, you're getting televised, you're getting in front of, you know, the biggest and the best UFC, right? With Dana White and what he's done and what he's created. It's a huge platform. And to say no to a platform like that, are you sure you're just not scared of losing in front of everybody?
No, I mean, when you're fighting all the time, you're fighting in front of everybody.
Yeah, but it's different when you're on national TV. It's different when you're on a huge platform like that. I mean, we're talking millions of people are watching that show. You know, we're not talking about, you know, a couple thousand people, 10,000 people, whatever show. We're talking about millions of people they got their eyes on you.
Now, like, you're saying, like, if I would have got that opportunity, it's like, hey,
you're saying if somebody called you up and asked you to be on Ultimate Fighter, you would say, no, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to do it.
I couldn't say that.
Oh, okay. Now we're changing the time.
I would just say, no, I'm just saying, like, it was just like, was it my cup of tea? Like, do I want to? Like, if I could choose,
yes, I want to.
If I could choose, like, you want to go to the Contender Series and stuff like that, or you want to be on the Ultimate Fighter?
I want to do it all. I want to do it all. If I'm a fighter, I want to do it all.
That's the thing. If you go to the Contender Series, you win. You're already in the UFC. Why you want to go on Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. If any opportunity, any chance, I want it.
Yeah.
If you're a fighter and you have an opportunity doing anything to showcase your skills and you believe in yourself, you should never back. Like, fighter, in my world, fighters got to always be ready to fight no matter what. No matter where it is, who it is, when it is, right? If you get called on, boom, to go to Oklahoma because there's a huge fight up there and there's some, big cards and, big opportunity for you to fight somebody that's well known, you get a chance to knock his ass out. I want that fight, right?
I agree and I disagree to an extent.
Good. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What do you disagree?
So it's just like, I agree. Opportunity doesn't come knocking on any time. And if you want to go, like, just go. Like, if someone calls me Ultimate Fighter, it's like, hey, you want to be on Ultimate Fighter? Probably, yeah. Do I think it's like the show? Absolutely not. But would I take the opportunity? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because I don't know when the opportunity comes knocking, stuff like that. But, like, at the same time, as a fighter, you are still a fighter. But as a fighter, you still have other stuff. You still have a family, you still have all that stuff. Now, if you tell me, oh, it's an opportunity, could you go up to heavyweight and fight Francis Ngannou at PFL? It's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Probably not the best fight to make, right? For
Right.
health reasons, or anything like that. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, because there's a whole lot of things, and every fighter's starting to realize it right now. Like, this era is that, like, we're our own brand. Eventually, you will lose. But it's not to any other fighter. It's to your age. You will lose. If you get older, you will start losing.
Yeah.
It's always happening.
Can't stop time.
Can't stop time.
Yeah.
Time will fuck you up. So it's just like, I feel like there's other avenues like fighters could take to where they can make money. Like, there's several fighters that went to bare knuckle or doing other stuff. Like, Chad Mendez. He could have.
What do you think of that bare knuckle stuff, man?
I like it now.
Yeah.
Because I got a friend who does it. His name is Nathan Rivera. He's killing it.
Yeah.
So I like it for him. And I like it for some guys. I feel like there's guys for that. And I'm, like, thinking about those opportunities, too.
Yeah.
Because right now they're printing money. So I'm like, give me a big enough check.
What do you take? What's a big enough check? You gotta have a number, man.
They get me in right now?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take anything. I don't fight for money yet.
Yeah,
But I'm talking about to continuously do it. But if you give me, like, what, 3,000, 4,000? What? I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll get on the flight.
Yeah.
I'll drive the car.
It's like, I'll do it. What about Slap, man? So you watch Slap, man?
I watched it one time. This shit's funny.
Boom. Would you do that, man? You get bitch slapped?
No, I'm not letting anybody slap me in the face.
Come on, man.
I can't.
Wait a second.
Would you let someone slap you in the face?
If I got Mikey Mike, okay, I got Mikey Mike here off set, man, okay, to do a slap off with you, okay? Just one slap. One to you, one to him.
I don't know Mikey Mike. Like, you see his
Doesn't
hands?
matter. Doesn't
his
matter.
Hands as veiny as my hand. He might slap the shit out of me and just be done.
Oh, you just
And
one
y'all
slap.
just
You get
continue
one
the
slap.
podcast with me on the ground.
we would do it just like Slap does. You get one shot. You get one shot at you. If you stand, you get one shot at him. Or we'll flip a coin to see who gets a shot first. Come on, man.
I would do a flip coin.
You would do it?
Coin flip.
Coin flip, yeah. So coin flip, boom. We flip a coin. We decide who goes first, whether you win or lose. But, if you go first, you get to slap him first.
Yeah.
If you knock out Mikey Mike, he don't get to slap you. But if he stands, he gets to slap you then.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not a big slapper.
Yeah, but there's that spot. There's that spot, man, on the chin.
Never slapped the shit out of someone. But that's the thing. That's the reason why I'm saying that, and the reason why I'm not with it. And, like, I'm like, looking.
Are you scared of Mikey? Take two, Mikey.
Nah,
Mikey.
I don't want to. If you get hit in the chin hard enough, you're going down.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you know what you're doing, you're going down.
No, there's a weak spot in everybody, right? It's just natural. It's like getting choked out, right? You're going to tap. People are going to tap.
Yeah, but you can stop the choke from happening, possibly.
Yeah.
So when you're just right here.
Right.
It's kind of hard.
You get a mouthpiece, and you one slap. Come on. What do you say?
No.
Won't do it.
No, I won't do it.
$1,000.
$1,000 now.
$1,000.
1,000.
Just one shot, one slap, open hand slap.
Oh, someone just slapped me for $1,000?
Just open hand slap. It's like slap.
So from a competition, me doing slap, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's a competition slap. And
but
what
if
I'm
I
saying
didn't
is,
do anything, like
if we recreate that, I'm saying, would you let Mikey Mike slap you one time for $1,000?
Mikey Mike, don't ever think you could come over here and slap me. Don't let him put this in your head that you could slap me.
Come on.
I know this is a podcast.
Come on.
Don't think you can.
Come on, man. You wouldn't let him just get one shot.
I don't know what.
As strong as you are.
He's been holding his camera. You know how long he has to. His hands is probably like stronger than mine.
You sound nervous, man.
I am nervous. I don't want to get slapped in the face by anybody.
Hey, folks, this is WamBam at WamBam's podcast. I just wanted to let you know that we've launched our website and merchandise is now available to you. That's right. We have hats. We have T-shirts. We have hoodies. The hoodies have been going off the shelf already. The Stay Positive hoodies. That's right. Stay positive, folks, and keep testing negative. As you know, go to our website at www.wambamspodcast.com. That's www.wambamspodcast.com. Now back to our show. Can you imagine, though, man, these people that are on Slap and they're getting paid big dollars. They're getting the views. They're getting, and you're right. It's an open hand slap, and we would call that bitch slap back in the day. Like you didn't hit somebody, you didn't slap somebody like that. You know, you just didn't. That's a girl slap, right? You just doesn't. They're freaking doing it. They're knocking people out.
That's just like this thing. First time I seen it, I'm like, this is crazy.
You ever been knocked out?
Yeah.
Where'd you get hit?
In my chin.
Did you get? Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, how did you get hit?
Overhand right.
Was it a hand? Was it a leg kick?
No. Overhand right down the middle.
Overhand right.
This is after. This is my this is my third fight.
So that's why you want to do a slap, because you kind of see it coming. You're gonna be like, you're gonna have
I'm gonna see it coming.
Hallucinations. You're gonna.
You still get knocked out. I didn't see. But when I got knocked out, I didn't see it coming. I just dropped the dude too.
Yeah.
Whole thing took like 5 seconds. I dropped. I'm like, yeah, this dude's gonna be easy. Then I threw it, chin up, came overhand. He wasn't even looking at me. Head, all the way down. Boom, cut off.
That's the thing, man. In fighting, you never know. I mean, let's face it. You train, obviously. You train hard.
Yeah.
How many days a week you train?
Probably like 5 days out the week.
Okay, so you're training 5 days out of the
Yeah, I
week.
rest Wednesday, rest Sunday.
And the reality is, the person that you're fighting, they're also training, right?
Yeah.
You know, and they're training a certain amount of time too. So they're fighters, like they're getting ready for this as well. So anybody's got a fighter's chance.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so great in the sport is, you know, what in my world, what MMA has done outside of boxing, hands down, it can't even compete in my mind. You know what I mean? So many people talk about boxing. I mean, boxing is a skill. Don't get me wrong. I love boxing too. I mean, I boxed too for a long time. I love the train boxing stuff, but unfortunately, the sport itself, to me, it's too fixed. There's too many ways that, you know, people can cheat. It's just not. It's not what it should be. And when MMA came out and what they did, what Dana White did to the sport, when that came out after it, like there's no boxing. Because you can be a boxer, you can go get in the ring. You know, we're gonna finish it. Like we're gonna go ahead and end this right now. Yeah. We're gonna find out who's the baddest motherfucker.
Yeah, they don't
before
do
it's over.
They don't do that anymore. Me and my dad have the same conversation. Like every time we talk, we always, no matter what we're talking about, we can talk about cutting grass. It always ends up to boxing is fixed. Yeah, you know, it always ends up to he's a big boxing fan too. You know, I'm telling him like about MMA and all this stuff, and to him, you know, the older guys, they're like they never watch MMA. It's just crazy to them.
Right.
You know, they don't understand. It's like no boxer could beat like the least talented, you know, UFC fighter or anything like that.
Well, I think they could. I think they could. I think it depends on the box. And this is what I said.
I'm just talking about from a
but the reality,
boxing background.
And I'm going to tell you why. This is my own theory. Okay. My theory is this. Where does the fight start? It starts on your feet. So from that point, they have a chance because every fight starts up top. Now, where it ends up, could screw them up. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, if it starts with their feet, and they got a good solid punch and they can read, they have that opportunity, I think. You know, again, I'm a big wrestler, so I'm a wrestler guy. I'd rather take you down. I want to get you close. I'm short. I'm going to get close and in tight. A different type of game.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting a boxer. Yeah. I'm not going to try to like, you're a boxer, but I got some punches. Now I'm going to take you down. I'm going to smash you. Right. This is the shortest destination to a win. Right. That's what I only want to do. I only want to win. I don't care how it happens. I just want to win.
That's the mentality you gotta have.
That's like it. It's just like, I don't care. I'm not going to outbox the boxer. I don't give a fuck. I'm taking you down. If I can't box you, I'm taking you down. And I'm trying to beat you up.
But don't you think there's a lot of respect? Guy like John Jones. Yeah. Okay. You know, where, you know, he fought. I remember when he did Daniel Cormier. Daniel said he was going to take John Jones down and he was going to, you know, get because he was a, you know, champion medalist and everything else. And John Jones says, you know what? I'm going to take his ass down. Yeah. I'm going to take him to the ground. I'm just going to do what he does, only better, just to prove that I'm the GOAT. You know, type of thing.
Crazy.
And he did it. He
did. He took Daniel Cormier down. Daniel Cormier did take him down too. Yeah. Only for a brief time.
Yeah, very brief.
Bounced right back up. But that's the thing, like, even with like there's wrestlers that come to our gym from college. He's like, oh, and everybody is like a big thing to suck the dick of a wrestler the whole time. Brown knows, oh, he's wrestled this. He's like, he's a good wrestler and all that. Motherfucker can't fight though. Wrestling just from amateur wrestling and stuff, that's not fighting. That's wrestling. That's wrestling. Yeah. I've dragged wrestlers that came to our gym before and stuff like that. Just from knowing MMA.
I'm gonna disagree with you, man. Some of the best MMA fighters were wrestlers. And guess what? If you don't have that wrestling background, because what you have is you have that discipline that most people don't get in any other sports. Think about it. Football, baseball, all the sports that you play growing up in through school or that's offered to you, they don't have boxing in school. MMA is not offered in school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got karate and taekwondo you can take on the side and stuff. But at the end of the day, we're talking about what's one-on-one competition. Wrestling, you got that. It's one-on-one. And it's contact. You're grabbing a hold of them, they're grabbing a hold of you. So there's leverage, there's strength, there's balance. There's a lot of techniques that go into that if they want to fight, okay, they can turn into be a decent fighter.
Yeah.
And mostly, I'm telling you right now, name some of your champions. I guarantee you, they were wrestlers back in school. You know, a John Jones, a Dan Cormier. You know what I mean? I can go right on down the list.
I'm not doubting any of like the wrestling capabilities or the discipline. Like you have to know wrestling. It's the most disciplined. Real talk, the most disciplined sport.
Yes,
teaches
because you got to suck weight,
all that stuff,
discipline,
singleton,
food,
stuff like
it
that.
Ain't fun.
But some of these guys haven't been punched in the face.
No, of course not.
No.
That's why I said
a different thing entirely.
You got to want to fight.
Yeah, you have to want to fight.
But if you're a wrestler that wants to fight, then
yeah,
he could be dangerous.
There's this conversation going around. It's like, oh, these athletes, these football players, they retired and go to MMA, they would be dominating. And like, all right, Greg Hardy did that. What happened to him? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like it's a different mentality you have to be a fighter too. Yeah. Even still, like they had guys like Aaron Pico. He was a good wrestler too. Bellator signed him out at the beginning. He lost his first match. Dragged, grounded, pounded, and stuff like that. Now he's a star because, of course, they put all this money in. You got to make him a star. He's a good fighter now, but like that's
because he was a wrestler. He wasn't a fighter. He learned.
Yeah,
he took the time. That's what I'm saying. I think if anybody puts the time in, they can learn. But I think if they have a wrestling background first, it makes them more dangerous. Because if they have a wrestling background and they want to learn to fight and they're out there fighting, put the money and time into that person.
I know. I'm just saying. There's MMA fighters that just learn wrestling.
Yeah, true.
Like
no,
GSP.
that's true.
Yes, greatest fighter.
GSP
just learned it on while he was doing MMA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had the most takedowns. You know, it's like it's just. I feel like it's more mentality. Yes, it would happen. Yeah, if you're an athletic background, yeah.
Come on, man, it goes all the way back. Yeah. It goes back to Randy Couture, Tito Ortiz. I mean, they're all wrestlers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But they bang.
Yeah,
they bang, and they're not afraid of getting banged. You know, type of thing. And I bet you they would challenge. They would do $1,000 slap with Mikey. I bet you they wouldn't turn that down.
They
wouldn't turn that down. They'd be like,
Couture,
he's gonna open slap me one time. Bring him.
If Randy Couture got slapped right now, he would die just from the CTE.
Oh, he would not.
And why would you do that to an American hero?
He is an American hero.
Same thing. Chuck Liddell. Die.
Yeah.
Tito wouldn't even be able to. He barely speaks English now. If you slapped him right now, he would die too. From any of them. I'm talking all those guys that just slap like in the slap league. They would kill them.
Wait a second. You mean to tell me if Tito Ortiz walked in here right now, you would say, "Man, you can't speak," and if I slapped you, you would die?
You think I'm afraid of Tito Ortiz?
I didn't say that. I'm asking. I didn't say you're afraid of anybody. I'm saying if he walked in right now, would you have any problem fighting him right now? If that's what?
No, I don't care. Get Tito in right now.
There you go.
I don't care.
There you go.
Don't care. Right. And he's old as now, so I got if you get 2003 Tito.
Hey, who is your favorite fighter? Who do you like out there?
I knew this was gonna come up.
Yeah.
My favorite fighter. Fuck.
You know anybody you idolize? Somebody you watch?
No, I have a lot of favorite fighters.
Right, well, give me top three.
Top three. Nick Diaz.
Yeah. Nick or Nate? Nick? Okay.
Definitely Nick. Idolize Charles Oliveira.
Okay, go on.
And what was his name? I'm trying to remember. Tony Ferguson. I wasn't trying to remember his name. I thought it was somebody else. But real talk, it's Tony Ferguson's my top guy.
Yeah.
Because I always loved the relentlessness. Like he was just like, I felt like out of everything, like people want knockout power. They want to have this be great. I just want to have, if I could choose anything, I would want Tony Ferguson's cardio. because that's how he beat guys.
Yeah.
He drowned them.
Yeah,
Same
not
thing.
the last couple fights.
No, I mean,
felt bad for
that's
him,
the thing.
'cause
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Age,
sooner or later, it's gonna happen.
Same thing with Nick though.
Yeah.
Just like I always loved that swarming style. Like
Yeah.
he's just like, yo, fuck it. I'm going to keep coming. And I'm still trying to beat your ass. Same thing with Charles. He has it too, even though he kind of gets clipped every now and again. But he doesn't have he didn't have that pace. He didn't have that Tony Ferguson pace. He didn't have that Nick Diaz pace.
Yeah.
And really the Tony Ferguson pace because he was just.
Do you ever worry about, obviously, being a fighter, you're getting hit, you're getting beat on, you're getting kicked, different things, injuries and stuff pop up. I mean, do you think about the long-term effect of that?
Long-term, I do, but not really. Because I'm like, that's thin. You know what I mean? It's like injuries happen really all the time because I feel like if I go in with that mentality, what about my head if I get kicked in the head? Yeah. It's gonna put me out the game. I'm a warrior now. I'm fighting now. Like that's how it's gonna happen later.
When's your next fight?
March 22nd.
Where can the viewers see you?
Tannery Row. You could get your tickets at NFC.com. Yeah, or you could just come and watch it. It's probably like $50 or something like that. You could come watch me knock out another man again, probably in the first round or whatever round. It doesn't matter.
Love the confidence.
Yeah, and then like
you gonna come out with the WamBam shirt on? You gonna come out with the WamBam shirt on?
I'm with my sponsor shirt on. Unless you want to sponsor.
Hey, you never know, man. Yeah, that's what I said.
Way,
I tried to throw $1,000 at you real easy.
I come out with the hat. Throw some money.
Yeah.
Y'all be behind me. Y'all can be in the corner.
So listen, Myles, it's been great chatting with you and talking to you and stuff. Anything you want to say to viewers? Anything you want to leave the viewers a little bit about you or say anything to them?
Yeah, I do. There's like, a whole lot of, this fighting lifestyle or any lifestyle, it comes with like a lot of adversity that I had to face, like even getting to this point. So like I'm a single father. I have 2 sons that I cherish. I still work. I still find the time to train. I'm 29 and I'm like living like my dream that I want to. And my biggest thing, like my takeaway is like, I could have a cozy job. I could go back to what I used to be, being a dog handler, make a whole lot of money. I could go to my new job, being a videographer, working in Atlanta with the connection I know, making a whole lot of money. But to me, I can't look at my 2 sons in the face and tell them they could do whatever they want if I didn't try to do whatever I wanted. So that's like my main goal. Like if I try and it don't happen, then it don't happen. But I can't sit here and be like a dad or be like a man and say like, tell my son, you could do everything you want if I didn't try. So that's like my thing. Like I say that to like everybody. It's like, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to do it.
There you go.
So, yeah.
There you go. There you have it, folks. You heard it right there from the DillaTheKilla himself. You have to always keep your eyes open and look for that opportunity. And don't be afraid of taking it. Go after it, and you know what? Dream big, and you'll find it. It will show up in time. And as WamBam always says, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, then stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. And as always, stay positive, baby, and keep testing negative. Till next Wednesday, I'm your boy WamBam, and I'm out. This podcast was brought to you by Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. Call 1-855-391-9190 and find out why they are the future in merchant